Good morning, folks. How are we all today? Let me get Facebook on board and we'll get this thing underway. As you can see, my co-presenter's back today, Charlie Cat. Where was it? Mr. Morgan had posted there in the timeline. We'll look at it later. Saying I had a busy day yesterday, so we'll have no really time to. Sorry, this. Give me up the ring boxes there. Right, that's Facebook on board. We can shut Facebook back down again. Okay, good morning, everyone. I hope we're all well today. As I say, as you can see, Charlie Cat's back as co-presenter. And we poser video him out in the garden yesterday. Oh, no, he went in. Oh, no, he's away. Good. Anyway, 63 watching, 64 watching. We're getting there. Waiting for Facebookers come in. Oh, good morning, Melanie, our Sweden correspondent. How are you today? That's the first of the Facebookers on board. Let's see who's in. Hi, Harry, Liebchen, Eddie, Lorraine, Akis, Margaret, Carol, two Margarets, Margaret McCarthy and Margaret Hitchin. Who else we got? Hi, Stephen. Hi, Akis. Wolf Pet. Nearly there. Hi, Rosie. Hi, Jeanette. Peter M. Scott. Hi, Ange. You're up higher than that, so the same at the moment. Hi, John. Let's scroll back down again. The folks, I am on the charity thing. You'll get an update on Monday. I can't get to the bank until Monday. I'm busy. Hi, Avril. Hey. Right, where are we? Nearly there. Once we're at the 100 mark, we'll get this broadcast underway. Okay. Now, I watched the TNT show last night. Hi, Doug. John Drummond, and his guest was Kevin Gibney. They always got on well with Kevin. Go way back, Kevin and I. Hi, Lydia. When Kevin was first floating Independence Live and getting up and running, he covered their BBC protest and things like that. He's covered almost everything, actually, including SNP conferences, the lot. Hi, Kate. Hi, Alex. Hi, Linda. Right, that'll do. We're almost there. So let's get this underway. It's Andy Truck Davey at the Truck Nat home in his office in Salisbury, North Lanarkshire, where it is overcast this morning, dry at the moment, still warm, 15 degrees. Now, I see Julie Brown was asking, and I need to apologise to anybody from watching from out with Scotland, because I'm about to drop into some Scots, so you might not understand it. But Julie Brown was asking, why does she complain to? For it wasn't meant to be raining the day. Well, Julie, the answer to that is you can complain whenever you want, for the weather doesn't listen. So you can mump and you can moan, but make it to your neighbours, because the weather's no bloody listening. Anyway, overcast, 15 degrees here today. That's what the weather's like here in Salisbury, North Lanarkshire. If you want to know what the weather's like where you are, well, look at your own bloody windy. Right, let's go on with this. Now we're up there the 100 mark. First up this morning, We have the Scotsman, and that is an absolute bollocks headline. But we'll put it up, as is our wont. And here we have the Scotsman. Majority of SNP voters back nuclear, poll reveals. Now, when you look into the subset in the poll, because it is a subset in the poll, you will see that it's no, as stated in the headline, it's people who intend to vote SNP in the subset. Right? Now, there's a difference between somebody who intends to vote SNP and an SNP supporter. Now, most of us SNP supporters are members. We don't all agree, and John will be getting a bit of kicking in this video, folks. And when I summarise at the end, John will be getting a bit of kicking. But there is a difference between voters and supporters. Supporters are members. Voters are those who intend to vote for the SNP. Now, the subset, of course, will be made up with SNP members and those who state they would intend to vote SNP. Now, how does the subset break down? Well, there's about 330 people in the subset. 48% say they're against nuclear when you add in, and they've added in the don't knows and the against, and 52% are in favour of nuclear reactors, thinking it would provide jobs and it would help achieve net zero. You don't achieve net zero by taking huge swathes of land out of use for 300 to 400 fucking years. And when we spoke about mini reactors, they don't work. There's only 2 of them functioning in the whole planet, and you can do the bloody research yourself. There's only 2 of them functioning in the whole planet, and they're only running at 30% capacity because it's too dangerous to go beyond 30% capacity. So they produce no more electricity than a handful of wind turbines. They burn through more fuel than a full-size reactor, which means more waste to try and deal with for the next 1,000+ years. But as I say, it's those who intend to vote SNP, not those who support SNP. Now, you've got to make a distinction there, folks, and the reason why you've got to make a distinction there is because I was at a fucking conference where we voted no to have nuclear reactors in our country. And, well, nothing's changed since then. So if you're somebody who intends to vote SNP, I'm afraid you're going to have to join the SNP if you want to change the policy of the SNP on no nuclear reactors in Scotland. So let's take that down. By the way, folks, just so you know, we're being gaslighted right across these islands this morning, and that includes the people in England, because the same nonsense is in the papers in England today is what is in the papers in Scotland. But that crap about SNP voters, such a tiny subset, only 1,000 people polled in the opinion poll and the opinion poll. And as I say, I had a quick glance at the subset. I'll look a wee bit closer at it later. But the way it's made up, it's the way the subset's taken out of the complete poll, I'm not sure that makes good evidence. But I say it was a mini poll, only 1,000 people polled. Right, next up we have the Times, and it's pushing the same fucking nonsense. So here we go. Oh, Charles opens up on frightening experience of cancer and SNP nuclear hostility at odds with supporters. No supporters in the subset, they're just people who intend to vote for the SNP. And apparently, Trump's blaming Biden for the economic hit that's happening in the US at the moment. Now, this nonsense about the King thing, this runs right through all the papers today. They're actually trying to divert our attention from the economic disaster that is Brexit and this Labour Chancellor. She's just another Liz Truss, but in slow fucking motion. And I mean slow motion. They're all for protecting the rich and fucking over the poor. And for the first time in history, we have a Labour government in Westminster who are driving people into poverty. Into poverty. Think about that. Now, we expect that shit for the Tories, probably for Agen as right-wing fucking loonballs. But it's not a Labour Party I recognise when they're actively driving people into poverty. But they'll get their fucking comeuppance come next year's election. Let's hope they get fucking wiped out. We'll take that down. As I say, the nonsense in the press, especially when it comes to Charlie today, and I mean nonsense, I'll give you more into that later on. Next up, we have the Herald. Let's see what the Herald's got for us this morning. And I can assure you that's just as much fucking nonsense as all the rest. Here we go. Pledge from Swinney to do more for Scottish children. So let's have a look at John. Won't we? Since he came to office. His programme for government? No mention of independence. Shut down the... did away with the Minister for Independence. Shut down the Independence Department in the Scottish Government. Where's our constitutional convention? It was pointed out in the Drummond show last night. What we got was a right-wing diversion. Asked to pledge to do more for Scottish children. John, you might make a good fucking Tesco manager, but you're never going to do any more for the people of Scotland as long as we're tied to that shower of shite down the road. And I'll explain it for you, you fucking idiot. They control the budget. Every time we take a step forward, they yank the fucking leash and pull us back. They've also become more authoritarian. Because every time we have a good idea to step forward, they fucking step in and veto it. As I say, John, you might make a decent fucking Tesco manager and administrator, but you're fucking definitely lacking in the fucking grey matter area. If you think you can do more on a budget controlled from out with our land, you want to help the children of Scotland, John, you've got to go hell for leather for independence. We've got to take back control of our resources, take back control of our wealth, and take back control of our fucking borders. To borrow from Farage in the English, which I don't like to do. But this is fucking diversionary nonsense for Swinney, the fucking Tesco manager. Another fucking email getting fired off. And it's funny how Independence Live and me and David are getting the same shit for the SNP. It would appear they don't want to speak to their members. They don't want to speak to the people. They just want to speak to the press. Just so you know, folks, I never got a reply for Stephen Flynn or his fucking office. They want to talk to even their candidates, but once they're elected, I don't want to talk to you. I mean, if we look at our audience and our subscribers, 3,400 of them, or just about, at least 2,000 of them are SNP members. You would think that these people would want to talk to the membership. Well, I'll tell you what, John, me and that 2,000 fucking subscribers will be coming for you shortly. Do more for the children of Scotland. How, you fucking spanner? They control your budget. Every time we take one step forward, they yank us fucking back and veto whatever it is we're doing as they get more and more authoritarian. We need a new fucking Tesco manager. Or sorry, Perth needs a new Tesco manager. What we need is a new fucking leader. And I've been giving him the benefit of the doubt. But with his right-wing summit instead of a constitutional convention. And this fucking nonsense in the unionist press, whereas he won't come and talk to the grassroots members. Tell you what, folks, it is time to start bombarding his email box and HQ's box in Edinburgh and ask them what the fuck they think they're playing at. Thanks, Alistair. Funds for the new month for the baby banks. Thank you, Alistair. We're going to need them because we're doing more actually than fucking John's going to achieve. That's for sure. But I know how to change what's going on in the party. There's 2,000 is at least here on this site. You know what to do, keyboard warriors. You know how to get the HQ's email number, email address, and you know how to get Swinney's email address. Join me in making our voices heard. Because out of the 3,000 odd subscribers, at least 2,000 are SNP party members. And I know that they watch this stuff. I know that HQ monitors this stuff. Well, guess what, HQ? There's 2,000 of us. Might well be dropping you a fucking email today. Let's move on. Next up we have the fail. Let's see what the fail's got for us today. Thanks, Stephen. What's the fail got for us today? I'll pick yours up and I'm going to take Alistair's down, Stephen. SNP threatened to ramp up campaign against drivers after rejecting demands to stop targeting hard-pressed bogeyman car owners. This is the Scottish Tories, folks. They want rid of the low emission zones and they want rid of the 20 mile an hour in built up areas. The Tories have got fuck all better to talk about, and the SNP don't threaten to ramp up campaign against drivers. SNP don't control road tax. The only thing they control is fucking road signs. There isn't an attack on motorists. There are some safety measures for the sake of people's health. In built up areas where children and old people stops them from getting fucking knocked down. And in the low emission zones. Well, for example, sitting in George Square before it became more or less nothing but buses for an hour was for a non-smoker like smoking 20 fags in an hour. The low emission zones were a must. And low emission zones run right across these islands. And I think it was Boris Johnson as London Mayor that introduced the first one. I might be wrong, it might be Nottingham. What a lot of fucking nonsense. As for this King moving cancer message, let's get this fucking straight. Charlie never had fucking cancer. I will tell you what that was all about. And as you can see, I'm a wee bit ratty today, folks. I'll tell you what it was all about. It was all about trying to trying to resuscitate this family's image. A family of crooks, adulterers, and fucking nonsense. Cancer my arse. And even if he did have cancer, he had access to the best doctors in the world. Why? Because he's stinking fucking rich. He's worth billions. In fact, if you take into all the property they own, You can crack that up to trillions. Right, thanks, Stephen. Let's feed this back down again. Because there's another one. Thank you, Duncan. Thank you. You're welcome. I wish I didn't have to fucking rant. I really do. But I'm telling you right now, it's the same with Kate, the cancer box. She had pre-cancerous cells, folks. The amount of people who go and see the doc and get a smear test and get told you get pre-cancerous cells, which then develop into nothing. That's what Kate had. And this bollocks with Charlie and his cancer. Tell you, this is about reinventing this family of crooks, adulterers, and nonsies. I've missed the rancid out. What have I done with the fucking rancid? Ah, here we are. What's the rancid goat for his day? This one is another fucking stormer. Wait to hear this. Sir Rod Stewart to step in to pay for autism test for 4-year-old child whose parents wanted tested at 1-year-old for autism. Is the all gone fucking mad? At 1-year-old, the child's brain's no developed enough to be able to take a test. At 4-year-old, the toddler's brain's no developed enough to take the fucking test. Is the world gone mad? Aye, Lorraine, I know pre-cancerous cells mean nothing. Put Charlie Cat on a mission like Sir Larry Cat does, David. Aye, I just need to teach him how to use a keyboard. I don't think he's quite at Sir Larry's level yet, to be honest with you. But we've seen a really interesting thing about dogs and cats, you know. And Buster was a clever dog. You know, dogs can learn up to 250 words, learn to count to 5 and have an average human age of 3. Whereas, like Larry, Charlie doesn't give a fuck. He's got an average age of 42-year-old human. And Larry, you keep shitting in that Wazzock's shoes, my friend. All right, that was a rancid. So Sir Rod Stewart's going to blow money to take a 4-year-old for tests that his brain's not developed enough to be able to take. You cannot make this stuff up. This is diversity shit, folks, to take your eyes off the fact that they're fucking starving kids, freezing granny, and fucking hammering the poor. Oof. What's the eye goat for us this morning? Wow, I'm on a roll today, folks. I am on a roll today. The King's Head message of hope for fellow cancer patients. On frightening journey, excuse me. A wee sip of my coffee. That's what happened to your aunt. You get a tickle you throat. I'm going to say this again. This is diversity, folks. This is to take our eyes and our minds off the failing economy, the fucking far right wing government that we have. That's all it is. And of course, it's a chance for that rancid family to rehabilitate their image in the public. Cancer my arse. Look at him. Fucking 3 months after supposedly dying of cancer, he's bouncing about fucking everywhere. As for Kate and her pre-cancerous cells, as Lorraine put in the comments, burnt off the same day, straight back to fucking work. I know a bit about that. Sarah had pre-cancerous cells as well. And that was exactly what happened with her as well, Lorraine. Right, the scum has the same bollocks. Royal Hope. Now, the Royals are fucking hoping they can rehabilitate themselves in the eyes and minds of the people. What's interesting is UK-wide, about 70% of the young want rid of that fucking rancid institution. And the truth is, they are tax-avoiding, crooked bastards who charge charities extortionate amounts of money to use properties on their lands, who charge the NHS huge amount of money for property on their lands, and whose family are made up of racists, William and his grandfather before him, bigots, head of the Protestant, head of the Church of England, of course, adulterers, and fucking nonces. Dean, I don't know if that's helpful, dear boy, but the French had the right idea. I'm not advocating that we cut their heads off. I'm just advocating that we get shot of them. Can't get away with cutting their heads off in this century. Right, let's move on. The Metro's get the same nonsense, by the way, folks. Just so you know. I don't have much to add to this King's Cancer message of hope. It'd be different if the fucking old adulterous head of the Church of England actually had fucking cancer. As I say, this is a smokescreen. This is their chance to try and rehabilitate the image of this bunch of crooks, adulterers, and nonces. Tax avoiders. Okay. The Winnie Rag the Express, which is designed specifically for knuckle draggers who've only just managed to accomplish the rudimentaries of reading the Express. And once again, we're being gaslit, folks. King's gratitude for community of care defying cancer. If you think this Muppet, even if he had cancer, was going to use the NHS and carers, away and don't talk pish. As for carers, he's got a guy that laces his shoes up. He's got a guy that dresses him in the morning. He's got a guy that shaves him. This guy doesn't need carers. He needs a fucking reality check. Vive la revolution. Not my fucking king. Right. Next up with the Guardian, I think it's back to fucking reality, thankfully. We'll put the Guardian up. Shall we? US downturn amid Trump's tariff triggers fear of global slowdown. Absolutely correct. Apparently, the two war criminals have had a word with each other, so Blair's decided to back up on the net zero stuff. Wow. And I don't know what the bolting bit's about. Live brain tissue may tackle dementia. I have no idea what that's about. Are they talking about taking brain tissue from a healthy person and putting it into somebody with dementia? I have no idea. I am going to look into it right enough. It looks interesting. And you know me, folks, I say I'm going to look into something. I will. But hey, that's back to reality. US downturn amid Trump's tariffs triggers fears of global slowdown. Aye, but it's definitely disrupting the supply chains, folks, especially into America. But Trump's found himself in the wrong end of everybody. He miscalculated because he's a fucking idiot. And if anybody wants to know why he started drawing back, that's because what we call the bonds vigilantes fucking stood in his neck and said, that's enough. And if you don't know what a bond vigilante is, look the term up. Right, next up we have a Telegraph. We'll put it up. Had to go and fish this one out for elsewhere this morning. Don't give up on oil, Norway warns UK. Norway warns UK, my arse. As for don't give up on oil, what the fuck sort of article is this? We've seen them defy the Supreme Court and tell the big oil companies that they can go ahead with the Rosebank field. Just do your due diligence after you've started the fucking work. The Met officer in Cabba shooting may be sacked despite being cleared. Apparently been cleared of whatever misconduct is involved in shooting an innocent person in the street. But he faces a sack anyway. Well, one thing, he should be taken off armed response. As for the sack, I don't know the circumstances of the case. I don't know what his record's like as a police officer. I don't. But nonsense, don't give up on oil. They've just opened up the fucking Rosebank against the Supreme Court judgment. We talk about fucking Trump and constitutional turmoil. Starmer and Co have done the same fucking thing here, but you won't hear that in the press. Fuck's sake. We'll get the Star up and then I've got a bit of summation for the day. I don't normally do a roundup, I just normally say bye, see you tomorrow. But we've seen you this afternoon anyway. So what's the Star go for us today? Oh, there's another one. That will definitely put a fucking end to anybody voting fucking reform. Granny Waddle Bottom. Yeah, absolute stormer. That's a stormer, that one. Yeah. And Widdicombe. Oh dear. Oh, a kiss for that. Well, a kiss of fucking death. Right, let's get the Star up. Oh, Star seems to have been blowing up today. No way, no him. I'm top of the popes. You can't be pope, you dope don. And the reason why it was blown up is I wanted to see what was said there. And it's Geezer Job. God, Trump wants to be pope. The bookies are not so sure. His odds are 500 to 1. No one wants an orange pontiff. Somebody phone up the gambling commission, will you? Trump doesn't qualify to actually be elected as pope. So why is the bookies run odds at 500 to 1 on him becoming pope? By the way, that's no bad odds. Yeah, that's better odds than your average black cardinal. But here we go. Now, to summarise, we're being gaslit like fuck folks to take our mind off the fact that the government's starving children, freezing fucking granny, thumping the disabled, battering down on the poor. But here in Scotland, we are being distracted and getting our eyes taken off the prize by the very person whose fucking job it is to drive the prize with his right-wing summits and his vague promises on improving life for children. We all know that the budget will be progressively cut until the end of this parliament. That means that John doesn't have the clout to be able to do anything more for struggling families. Hi, William. You've been offline. Sorry to hear that, William. Welcome back. As I say, John doesn't have any wriggle room left in the budget. Unless he's going to pass on the bedroom tax, unless he's going to shut down other services in order to be able to funnel it into children's services. But John needs to get his fucking eyes back in the prize. And I mean that sincerely. John needs to get his eyes back in the prize. Because in reality, Scotland's being fucking raped. Our industry's being shut down. We're being made dependent on the cunt next door. And there is nothing left in the pot to improve anybody's lives, whether it be in England, Scotland, Ireland, Northern Ireland, or Wales. There is nothing left in the pot. But I know that the SNP are monitoring this stuff. I know that they're monitoring Independence Live. I know that they're monitoring pro-independence vloggers and bloggers. And I know that they're watching this. So here's a wee fucking message for you, HQ. At least 2,500 of the 3,400 subscribers on this channel are members of the SNP. And if you don't get your fucking eyes back in the prize, you'll see us at the next fucking conference. And we'll be putting John on the naughty step and out a fucking job as First Minister. And you can take that threat as a promise. Now, folks, in summary, get on your fucking keyboards, get onto the HQ, melt John's fucking inbox, and let's get this thing moving. Because if we really want to improve the lives of the people of our country, we need to take back control of our resources and our finances. And the only way to do that is for the SNP hierarchy to get their fucking eyes back in the prize. And the prize is not another 5 years of fucking devolution, because it doesn't work. And they're becoming more authoritarian, and they're shutting down more and more of what we're trying to do for the people of Scotland. And in fact, reality is no. Up there, in the heads of those who head up our party. And guess what, head of our party? We're fucking coming for you. We are not without clout. Hey bother, Sir Larry, I'll send him down. Although I don't know if he needs a passport to get down to you. I'll need to check it out. After all, you're in another country. Right. That's it for the day. Well, that's it for me this morning. Alex, you can back to your bed. You'll wake up again once the SNP start driving things forward. Now look, folks, there's a lot of lunacy out there about voting and all that shit, right? But Marco Ronaldo, if you don't know who he is, he's a friend of mine. He's always been right. We have a pro-independence support, allegedly, of 2 million people. You want them to take notice? A political party with 2 million members is fucking hard to take note. I can assure you that. So as Marco Ronaldo says, if you support independence and you want to ensure that your voice is heard, and you want to drive that membership forward in the direction you want them to go in, sign up and join. That way you have a voice. That's what I was saying earlier about, the difference between a supporter and a voter. Us supporters are party members, and we have a voice within the party. Voters, they don't have a voice within a party unless they're signed up to it. See you all this afternoon. 4 o'clock, don't be fucking late, you're on the naughty step. Thanks for tuning in large numbers. Thanks for your contributions to the food banks today, folks. And look after yourselves. Support all the independence vloggers and bloggers and the good vloggers and bloggers down south. Okay, bye for now.